Hi, and welcome to another edition of The Best Pictures. I'm one of your hosts, Joey Powers.
Hey, and I'm Don Trettler. How you doing? Welcome to the show.
So we're back at it for a second.
I'm thinking maybe we should change the name of our show to Names from a Hat.
Names from a Hat, or as Colin called it last week, Hatman and Robin.
But we're having fun. We're having fun doing this.
Well, it is fun because we filled the hat last week, and we had so much left over that we decided we're just going to leave them in, and you forgot and put a few more in. So I literally don't know one name that's in there. So this could be really fun. Because last week we did the same thing because we had missed a couple of weeks because of my work.
Well, I know we got my director last week, and I think we got pretty sure we got my actress and everything too.
And we did at the end throw one back because we didn't have enough time to cover that person. I don't remember who it was, but
I think I know who it is.
But no, it is fun, you know? I mean, maybe we should call Names from a Hat. I don't know. But it is a lot of fun, and it's fun because, you know, as always, you don't know who I put in, I don't know who you put in, but we both have enough knowledge of film that between the two of us, we can make it work. So.
Right.
All right, so I'm going to pull a name first this week.
Today's lucky winner is Steve Bishakis.
Oh, this one's mine.
All right.
It's a director, Michael Mann.
Oh, Michael Mann.
He's a good director. I like Michael Mann.
Yeah, like the first thing that comes to mind is, oh shoot, I can't think of the name of it.
I think of Manhunter.
Manhunter. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah. And you know what? That movie, I know it's the original, like Silence of the Lambs or whatever. That movie scared me. And I was like, it was scarier than any of the Silence of the Lambs or, what was it? Red Dragon?
Right.
And Hannibal. I mean, that movie legit, like, the guy who played the character that Ray Fiennes plays in Red Dragon, that guy was creepy.
Oh, right.
He was, I mean, I haven't seen it in a long time, but I was legit, like, I watched that at home one night by myself. I was, like, probably 19 or 20 at, like, 8 or 9 o'clock, and halfway through that movie, every light in my house was on. I mean, it really, like, scared me. I was like, wow, this guy is, like, really sadistic.
Yeah, I
like,
can't remember his name. The guy, he's super tall, and he was bald.
Yeah, I don't remember his name. I have an iPad right in front of me.
You know, the weird thing about it is he ends up playing those types of parts the few times I've seen him in movies. One time he was the red herring. He was like the person that you thought was like the killer, and it turned out to be somebody else.
Yeah. I mean, Ray Fiennes was pretty good too. But this guy, like, legit, like, he really scared me. Like, the first scene that William Peterson shows up to with the blood, I was like, wow, this is, like, really graphic and disturbing. Brian Cox played... It's funny because...
Yeah, played Hannibal the Cannibal.
Yeah. It's funny because when I think of Brian Cox, I think of the chief in Super Troopers. You know? And to see him play such a role like this... Dennis Farina's in it.
Dennis Farina.
Forgot about that. So what was the guy's name? Was it Francis? Tom Noonan?
Tom Noonan, that's who it is.
Yeah, he was really good.
My double is in that movie too, playing a serious part.
Who?
Chris Elliott.
Chris Elliott?
Is he in the cast over there? I know he's in the movie because I saw it. And you wouldn't expect him because he became kind of a comedian. I think this is before he was established as a comedic actor.
He's in There's Something About Mary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know he was in this. You call him your double?
Yeah, I call him.
That's not a compliment to you.
When I lived in New York City, people would stop me on the streets because they thought that I was Chris Elliott.
Yeah, Chris Elliott played Zeller.
Even my grandmother, he had a television show, a short-lived television show called Get a Life, where he was an adult man living with his parents, and he was a paper boy.
Really?
Supported himself as a paper boy, yeah.
That's funny.
And my grandmother used to watch it, and she said, "You look just like that guy on the show."
All right, well, have you ever seen Collateral?
Collateral.
Tom Cruise, Jamie Foxx.
Oh, I did, yeah. I was just looking at that movie the other day.
Did you like it?
That's Michael Mann, too.
That is Michael Mann.
Right.
Because it's funny, because actually on the set of Collateral, it's when Jamie Foxx convinced Michael Mann to do a movie version of Miami Vice.
Yeah, and that's what he did. Kind of after Manhunter, I think he dedicated his time mostly
TV.
toward Miami Vice for a while.
Yeah. He did The Last of the Mohicans.
That was really good. It didn't really have the feel of like I think of like a Michael Mann movie.
No, not at all.
Usually they're very dark and kind of edgy looking, and Last of the Mohicans, pretty straightforward.
Yeah. But Collateral, I like Collateral a lot. You know, Tom Cruise plays a hitman. Jamie Foxx is a cab driver, and he just happens to be the cab Tom Cruise gets in, and he makes him drive him around. I think it's L.A. for one night because he has like 5 people he has to kill. And it was a really good movie. I mean, Tom Cruise decked out in like gray hair.
Yeah. I'd like to see that again. I probably will. Sometime in my lifetime, I'll watch that movie again. Because, like I say, I saw it at the, I was shopping for movies, and I happened to see it, and I thought, oh, that's one we've talked about.
Yeah.
Another Michael Mann. Didn't he direct one with Russell Crowe about the
Insider.
The Insider, about the whistleblower? And
How is that?
background?
Have you seen that?
It was real good.
That's
yeah.
him and Al Pacino, I think.
Yeah, that was a good, I don't know, I can't remember Al Pacino in it, though.
What about Public Enemies?
Oh, I haven't seen that
I
one.
haven't either. It's Johnny Depp, Christian Bale, Marion Cotillard. They're a pretty good cast.
Yeah, I own it, too.
I
'cause
do too, and I haven't seen it. We're terrible.
I got it at the Wool Silent auction, and that's one I just never. You know what's happened? See, now that I have a girlfriend, it ends up I'll say, "What are you in the mood for?" And she'll be like, "I'm in the mood for something with a positive message." So yeah, I don't get to watch anything like Public Enemies. I have to watch. That's why I've been on kind of a comedy stretch for a while.
I'm not really the positive image kind of, or yeah,
Yeah,
positive message. Yeah. What about Heat? I love Heat.
yeah, he was really
He's
good.
probably my favorite Michael Mann movie. I think that's the reason I chose Michael Mann, because he's only done 22 things. Ali.
Oh, wow.
So he's done quite a bit with Jamie Foxx, because obviously Miami Vice as well, Collateral, and Ali.
Isn't Ali
Smith.
Will Smith, yeah.
Yep. And like John Boyd's in it. It's got a really good cast. And that was the first Oscar nomination for Jamie Foxx. Because I think Jamie Foxx was actually nominated for supporting actor and actor. I think he was nominated for supporting actor for
Any Given Sunday?
for Collateral.
Oh.
The year he won Best Actor for Ray. Because I think he was nominated in both categories.
Did you see that? Did you see Ray?
No.
Oh, I'll have to find that one. I have that
Have you?
somewhere. Yeah, I own that
It's
one.
really good. I heard he
really
was
good.
excellent as Ray.
Yeah.
I heard he was really good in Ali too. I haven't seen it in a while.
Who was he in Ali?
I want to say his manager.
Oh.
I'm not positive. But
No, keep
Well, we got to move it along.
keep going.
I forgot what I was talking about.
I'm trying to think of what are the other Michael Mann movies I've seen that were really good.
Yeah, The Insider, Ali, Collateral, Miami Vice, Public Enemies. Public Enemies is really the last big one. What's Black Hat? You have any idea what Black Hat is?
I don't. I think it's a CIA thing.
Is it?
You know, had to do with like the
Let's see. It's got one of the
private
Hemsworth.
contractor.
Chris Hemsworth. A furloughed convict and his American and Chinese partners hunt a high-level cybercrime network from Chicago to Los Angeles to Hong Kong to Jakarta.
Wow.
They're doing some traveling.
And who's in that one?
Chris Hemsworth, Viola Davis, Wei Tang.
Oh wow. What did it get for a rating? Is it get a decent write-up?
5.4.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
that's
We
kinda-
figured, did we do this on the air last week where
I
we
think we
figured
did.
6 is average? 6 is watchable.
Yeah, I think anything 6 and above, it's kind of like, oh, that's worth watching.
It's worth
anything it's
watching.
kind of below 6, it's kind of like, meh.
It's like, maybe if I'm forced, if there's absolutely nothing else on TV. Under 4 now.
I came across some today that were, well, actually, it was an actress I was going to throw in our hat, and she did some really crappy movies. I mean, they were rated like 4.6. I'm like, wow, that's a really horrible movie.
That
at
is.
4.6.
Yeah.
So you can imagine if you get something rated below 4.6.
Yeah. You're going to get
You're not
trashed
gonna
by
make it.
us. All right, I think that's pretty much, we've covered Michael Mann, so if you want.
Yeah, pretty good director.
Yeah.
See what I got. I've got this little tiny ball.
Could be mine.
Oh, it's quite,
It's probably mine.
it looks like my writing.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't talk about her already?
Who?
Jennifer Connelly.
I don't
Did
think
we
so.
not talk about Jennifer Connelly?
No, I don't think so.
But it feels like Jennifer Connelly's been around forever. She
I
did
know.
like one of those teen comedies.
She did the one where they get locked in the
The department store.
yeah, overnight. Her and Frank Whaley.
And she's done some pretty decent work since then. She's up behind us. So I was thinking about that. I love to put the actors and
Yeah.
actresses that are behind us.
Yeah.
And
I mean, she's gorgeous.
yeah.
I mean, she's got beautiful green eyes. She's a good actress too. She won an Oscar for A Beautiful Mind,
Oh,
Best Supporting Actress.
nice. She was in that movie that I told you about. The oh man, the one about the eye, had the eye.
Requiem for a Dream.
Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm like I can't remember names of
That
anything.
movie is psychotic. Oh my god, I watched that and I was like traumatized. Nothing good happens to any of the 4 characters in that movie.
Right.
Nobody can say that their life ended up better because of drugs or.
I don't know what that movie is. She's with Josh Brolin, and that one is not familiar to me at all. Geez, what else? She's done a whole bunch of different stuff.
She was in Noah. He's just not that into you.
She was with Russell Crowe in Noah.
Yep.
Oh, she's just not that into you.
Reservation Road. I believe that's the one with her and Joaquin Phoenix, where their son gets killed at a gas station, and Mark Ruffalo did it, and that was not a happy movie.
No, doesn't sound like
Little Children. Did you ever see that?
Little Children. Is that with
Jennifer Connelly, Patrick
Bacon?
Stewart. No.
Oh,
Jackie Earl Haley.
I don't think I did see this.
That's Jackie Earl Haley plays a convicted child sex offender or whatever, and it's just that's another movie that's not a happy movie. Like Patrick Wilson's married to Jennifer Connelly, but he takes the kids to the park where Kate Winslet, who's married to someone else, takes her kids to the park, and they end up hooking up. And I guess I don't really want to ruin it. You should watch it though. It's a good movie.
All right, I'm writing it
Yes,
down
yes,
in the
we
book.
brought a list this week.
It's probably already on my a list somewhere because now I've got so many lists.
Here, I'll
going.
read you what it gives for a description in here.
Little Children.
Came out in 2006. Got a 7.5.
That's pretty good.
That is pretty good. This is what they give you for the description. The lives of 2 lovelorn spouses from separate managers, a registered sex offender, and a disgraced ex-police officer intersect as they struggle to resist their vulnerabilities and temptations in suburban Massachusetts. It was nominated for 3 Oscars. I believe Jackie L. Hurley was nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
Wow.
So it was really good. So it's Kate Winslet, Jennifer Connelly, Patrick Wilson, Jackie Earl Haley, Noah Emmerich's the other guy. He's the other husband, I believe, or not.
So Jackie Earl Haley hasn't been doing a whole lot of stuff. He was in
that
Watchmen.
Watchmen, yeah, that was right after
I
this.
thought he was really good in Watchmen.
Yeah,
They did a great job in that.
he's really good in this. He's really good in this.
Now, was that DC? Watchmen is DC?
I don't know.
Or maybe that's
much.
an independent one.
That
Maybe
might
it's
be
not
independent.
DC or Marvel.
I'm not sure. But Jennifer Connelly's. Let's get back to her. I can't think of the name of that movie, but yeah, Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah, what
She was in Inventing the Abbots with Joaquin Phoenix and. Go back. I can't think of the name of that one with her and Frank Whaley though. So I haven't seen it in a long time, but I think that was her first movie. Let's see, Jennifer Connelly. She was in Once Upon a Time in America.
Wow, she must have been a kid.
Career Opportunities. That's the name of the movie. Then she was in The Rocketeer, Higher Learning. I forgot about Higher Learning. Inventing the Abbots, Dark City, Requiem for a Dream, Pollock, A Beautiful Mind.
Right,
Oh,
she's-
Hulk. She was in Hulk with Eric Bana, the one that Ang Lee did. That was terrible. House of Sand and Fog. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
That's a really good movie. That's a really sad movie. But it's a really good movie. I wonder what that got for a rating. 7.6, so
Yeah, I would say people must have liked that. So
that was a
That
really good
movie.
movie. Yeah, so it gives a description. An abandoned wife is evicted from her house and starts a tragic conflict with her home's new owners. Yeah, it got pretty nasty. And then she starts hooking up with the sheriff. So the sheriff's going after the family, and it just didn't end well, but an excellent movie. That was nominated for 3 Oscars as well. I think Ben Kingsley was nominated for Best Actor.
That was a real good showcase for Ben Kingsley. I always, Ben Kingsley gets a lot of like little bit parts. So I really like to see him get kind of major roles in movies because he really can make the most of it.
Yeah, Best Actor in a Leading Role. He was nominated for Best Actor in a Leading Role in 2004. Best Actress in a Supporting Role was his wife, and then Best Original Score with the 3 nominations. Very good movie. Ben Kingsley's one we should talk about sometime because he gets good roles.
He also gets a lot of he gets to play like a villain or something, and
he was Meyer Lansky in Bugsy, and I thought he was really good.
Yeah. He needs more time.
I think so. I mean, he has an Oscar. He won an Oscar for Best Actor for Gandhi.
Yeah.
Early 80s.
Which would be a good movie to talk about at some point because I think that was one of those big epic movies. It's like 3-4 hours long, and
you could tell that movie was out to win Oscars, and
people don't. I think nowadays people don't like it. People don't really like that movie.
All right, let's play. What do you think Gandhi got for rating? Above or below 8?
I think it got below 8. That's gonna be my guess because I think people's
8.2.
I think people's opinion was pretty low.
Oh, 8.1.
Oh. But I thought it was an excellent movie.
It's rated number 228 on IMDb.
Wow.
It won 8 Oscars.
So there are 227 movies ahead of it.
So it won Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Director, Best Writing, Best Cinematography, Best Art Direction, Best Costume Design, Best Film Editing. So it did pretty well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're right. Especially nowadays, I feel like it's a forgotten movie because it was long ago and it's so long and it's an epic. And a lot of epics don't hold well, like the test of time.
Right. Richard Attenborough, right? He directed that?
Yep. He won Best Director and Best Picture because apparently he produced it as well.
Well, that's good. That's a good one.
All right, so we went from Jennifer Connelly to Ben Kingsley.
To Gandhi.
To Gandhi, yep. All right, I'll grab another one. Colin, are we boring you?
I was trying to think of what the movie was that she was in.
Jennifer Connelly?
With Nick Nolte. Mulholland, is it Mulholland Drive?
Mulholland Falls.
Mulholland Falls she was in.
Yes. That one's yours.
Oh, another actress.
Was this Today?
Another actress behind us, I think.
Probably.
I think that's Nicole
She's
Kidman.
in. That is Nicole Kidman. I was gonna say she's in pretty much everything. So.
Yeah, what do you think? Do you like Nicole Kidman?
I don't.
Not a Nicole Kidman fan.
I'm not.
I kind of like her, and she did. When I was looking her up, she did a lot of movies in Australia before she even hit it big.
Really?
The first movie I remember her being in was I'm not gonna remember the name of it. It was kind of a independent foreign movie hit. It was about these 2 murderous girls, like prep school girls. And Nicole Kidman wasn't one of those 2 girls. She was in like a girl in their class that they hated. What's it called? Something like Beautiful. Is it called like Beautiful Creatures or something like that? Is there like an early movie? Anyway, it's an Australian movie, and I'm trying to think when she really hit it big. What was her big breakout? For the
I think
United
it
States?
was the first movie I remember her in, which was Days of Thunder.
Oh.
She plays Tom Cruise's nurse.
Did she marry Tom Cruise after that?
I think so. But she's in a lot of good movies. I don't know. Like, she's not a reason I will watch a movie. I never really cared for her. But she does, Days of Thunder, I like Days of Thunder.
Right.
I thought it was a good movie. Billy Bathgate, which I talked about last week, she plays Dustin Hoffman's female lead. Far and Away, that was terrible. I don't know if you saw that.
You didn't like that one?
I didn't like it.
That's the one where Tom Cruise has the accent?
Yeah.
The Irish accent?
What about Malice? I forgot about Malice. It's
Who's in that?
Alec Baldwin, Nicole Kidman, and Bill Pullman. Alec Baldwin. Bill
Huh.
Pullman and Nicole Kidman are married, and Alec Baldwin is renting from them. And Nicole Kidman ends up getting pregnant, and Alec Baldwin's a doctor, and he happens to be the one that delivers the baby. And she loses the baby, and so they sue him. It's really awkward, and then it just goes from there. It's not a bad movie. I forgot about it. To Die For, her, Matt Dillon, Joaquin Phoenix,
Right.
where she plays a teacher.
Is that the one? It was on, what was the woman's name? Susan Smart?
Yeah. Yeah, it's loosely based on that. Batman Forever was terrible. She plays his shrink, Val Kilmer's, or Batman's shrink. Let's see, The Peacemaker. Her and George Clooney.
Right.
I think that was one of Clooney's first leading roles, because he had just gone from ER to becoming a serious movie actor. Practical Magic, I haven't seen.
Practical Magic. Yeah,
It's
I
like
don't
her
know
and
that
Sandra
one.
Bullock. That's not really. Eyes Wide Shut, I didn't see either.
With Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I've seen parts of it. I think that was Kubrick's last movie.
It was, and it wasn't.
It was different. The scenes that I saw were definitely different.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say I really liked it. It was kind of. I thought it was kind of strange. It was about. I guess she and Tom Cruise somehow they stumble upon this cult. They go to this masquerade party and
Yeah.
everybody's dressed up and nobody knows who's who and.
It was
I'm
really.
trying to remember what it is. I think maybe she gets drawn in, and he's trying to get out, and she becomes like a member of this cult, and I don't know. It didn't really do it for me, and I'll bet if you look it up, it gets a pretty low write up because I don't think it was very highly regarded. Even though it's Stanley Kubrick and it was
7.4.
interesting. Really,
Yeah.
it has kind of a real creepy vibe about it.
This is the description. It says, a New York City doctor who's married to an art curator pushes himself on a harrowing and dangerous night-long odyssey of sexual and moral discovery after his wife admits that she once almost cheated on him. So they're married in it?
Hmm.
Okay. How much I did not know. Who else is in it? Anybody? Sidney Pollock's in it. I like Sidney Pollock. Or I liked Sidney Pollock.
Yeah, I guess I'm surprised that got rated as high.
What about the others?
The others. Oh, did you see it?
No.
That was one of those movies where, like The Sixth Sense, you were supposed to, by the time it ends, you go like, oh, I didn't pick up the hints.
Right. Yeah, I heard that.
But it
about
was very clever. I thought it was really interesting. It was kind of, you don't really call it a horror movie. It was kind of scary, suspenseful. Yeah. She lives in a haunted house with her children.
Yeah, I heard. What about Birthday Girl?
I don't even know what that is.
Don't bother. Okay, you want to see a bad rating? I'll give you a bad rating. This is not going to make our 6.
And this is something relatively new. This isn't.
No, this is 2001. So it's not. Wow, it got 6.1.
Wow, that's like watchable.
Some people don't have very high standards. It was her and Ben Chaplin. She's like a mail order bride. It's bad. It's not a 6.1 in my book. Maybe a 1.6.
She's a mail order bride. Somebody sends away for her.
Yeah. The Hours is what she won Best Actress for.
Oh, right.
She plays Virginia Woolf. The Human Stain. I feel like I talked to you about this movie already. All right.
Why do I feel like that's a remake of something? The Human Stain.
This is what it gives her description. When a disgraced former college dean has a romance with a mysterious younger woman haunted by her dark, twisted past, he is forced to confront a shocking fact about his own life that he has kept secret for 50 years. The reason I watch this is because Wentworth Miller was one of the stars of it, and he was the star of Prison Break, which was one of my favorite TV shows of all time. This actually got a 6.3. It's really good. It's actually a pretty good movie. Anthony Hopkins and Nicole Kidman are the older versions. Or Anthony Hopkins is the older version of Wentworth Miller's character.
Uh-huh.
So it's one of those throwback type of movies where you're living in the present and then going back to the past. I would recommend watching it though. It's pretty good.
Oh, wow. All right.
Ed Harris is in it as well.
Sounds like a good cast.
He's got a pretty good cast. Wentworth Miller's a pretty good actor. What about Cold Mountain? That's got a good cast.
Cold Mountain, yeah, that was another one they were kind of vying for an Academy Award
Yeah.
with that. I wasn't as impressed with that movie. I think it didn't. I expected more from that.
Because that's got a... I think Renee Zellweger won an Oscar for
That's
Cold
got
Mountain.
Jude Law,
Yeah.
Renee Zellweger, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's got a pretty good cast. Jude Law, Nicole Kidman, Renee Zellweger, Natalie Portman, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Brendan Gleeson, Giovanni Ribisi, Kathy Baker. It's got a pretty
Wow, quite the cast.
Yeah. Got a 7.2. It's directed by Anthony Minghella. You know,
I just remember it really didn't do much for me. I did see it, and I really don't remember a whole lot about it. Which,
So Renee Zellweger won Best Actress in a Supporting Role. It was also nominated for Best Actor for Jude Law, Best Cinematography, Best Film Editing, Best Music, Best Original Song. So,
well, maybe I'm wrong.
I just remember
Maybe
not wanting to see it.
You didn't even want to see it.
No. That just doesn't look like anything that I'd be interested in. Isn't it like during like the Civil War or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. All right. Let's see. The Interpreter with her and Sean Penn. Sean Penn's my favorite actor.
Oh, right.
I still didn't watch it.
I keep taking that movie out because I keep thinking I didn't see it, but then I watch it over again.
Recently, let's see, she was in The Paperboy, The Railway Man, Before I Go to Sleep, Paddington, Strangerland, Queen of the Desert. I haven't seen or heard of any of these.
Huh.
Have you? The Upside.
No, I haven't heard of many of these at all. Does she have anything in production right now? She must.
She Came to Me. The Goldfinch Destroyer. Oh, she's in Aquaman. She plays Queen Atlana. When does that come out?
Yeah, it seems like her career is kind of like a little bit of a lull. We're not seeing her as a headliner anymore.
Yeah.
And it may be that way with, with actresses. Once they get to a certain age, I suppose they're not as desirable to be putting into these movies. They're not, because I guess they can't play the young romantic interests anymore. So
Yeah, I mean, you can tell studios are running out of ideas when Aquaman gets his own movie. I mean, seriously, Aquaman? Is anybody gonna go? Oh, did I make Colin mad? I did make Colin mad.
oh, Colin.
So Colin is the one person that's gonna go see Aquaman in the movie theaters. I mean, it's like Ant-Man and the Wasp tanked.
Did it really?
It's only made $165 million.
It's in town right now.
It is, but compared to the Incredibles 2, Incredible 2 is at $557 million. This is just domestic, and Ant-Man and the Wasp is at 165. So I mean, Jurassic Park's almost it's like 374 domestically. So I mean, maybe they should just stop making superhero and comic book movies. Or
I think they're gonna eventually.
or individual ones. Keep it as like the groups, like the Avengers or,
X-Men.
yeah, or just in general Justice League, But obviously the big guys like Batman, Superman, Iron Man, but like Ant-Man and the Wasp. Do we really need that? Do we really need Aquaman?
Well, I don't know. I mean, the original Ant-Man, it got some good word of mouth. I didn't.
It did
see
pretty
it,
well, right? Yeah, because this one, I don't know.
People seem to really like it, so I guess that's why they went with this. And you don't think it's pretty well regarded, this new one?
I'm gonna check and see if it's got a rating on here. If this thing will let me work.
Maybe Colin saw it. Oh, Colin's gone.
I
You
made
didn't see Ant-Man?
I made him mad.
You going tonight after the show? Tomorrow on Bargain Night? There is no more Bargain
They don't do
Night, is
Bargain
there?
Night anymore, no.
Bargain
I mean,
Night's a thing
Ant-Man
of
and
the
the Wasp
past.
got 7.5.
Wow.
And I can't say anything because I haven't seen it. I'm just saying, do we really need?
I'm in agreement with you. I'm really not rushing out to go see it, even though looks like it's a halfway decent movie. I don't really have the 2 hours to spare.
No, I mean, if I'm gonna go see a movie, it's gonna be a movie that I really, really like. Recently, this year, I've gone to see 2 movies. I went and saw Deadpool 2, and I saw The Incredibles 2, and they were both really good. The Incredibles was. I wonder if they have a rating for that on here yet. The Incredibles was amazing.
Probably a bunch of people have seen it by now.
That's
so they
probably
rate
the
it.
best Disney Pixar movie I've seen. And that's saying something, because I really liked Cars a lot.
Well, Nicole Kidman probably does voiceovers for stuff too. She probably does some. Did she sing in the one about the penguins? Oh, what the heck was that called?
Is that-
Happy Feet. I think Nicole Kidman sings in Happy Feet with.
I think she sings in Moulin Rouge, doesn't she?
Oh, Moulin Rouge. Yeah, we didn't even talk
Yeah,
about that.
I saw it and I skipped over it. Incredibles 2 has an 8.2 rating.
Oh,
So, yeah, it's really good.
that's really high.
I mean, it takes a lot for me to go see a cartoon or animated, whatever you want to call it.
Has that already been here to town?
Yes.
I missed it.
Saw it 3 weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago.
So I guess I'm going to have to see it on videotape.
Yeah, I think that's something you and Jake would like to watch together.
Or
It's really-
Netflix, yeah.
It's just, for me, the one issue I have is I think it's too long.
Right, you said it's over
Because-
2 hours.
Yeah, because, I think families are going, little kids and stuff like that. I don't know if they have the attention span to sit for
Well,
it.
where do you, in seeing the movie, where do you think it went too long? Where do you think it got?
Okay, so it's an hour and 58 minutes.
Well, that's not bad.
It didn't seem like it wasn't dragging or anything. I just remember looking at the clock when we left and I was like, wow, it really was a long movie. But have you gotten a chance to see our thing yet?
No, not the movies. I
Rick
haven't been to the
showed
movies.
me last week.
Does it play for every movie?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, one of my friends actually stopped me in the street the other day to tell me he saw me because he went to the movies there.
I hope we're getting something good next weekend because I want to go.
Well, when we went and saw The Incredibles 2, there was like a 10-minute, there was a problem where they had to reboot the system. So we went back over next door to the cafe and hung out for a few minutes. By the time we got back, it had already played. So I didn't get to see it, but Rick showed me in his office. It's pretty cool. They did a good job with it. So,
That should be fun.
yeah. All right, so did you want to talk about Moulin Rouge? Because I haven't seen it.
Oh, yeah, it's her and
It's got a...
Ewan McGregor.
Right.
It uses like some rock and roll songs. I haven't seen it in a long time. It's a movie that I bought.
Isn't like Maya in it? And like Pink and... I think...
No, I think it was kind of before Pink got. I could be wrong. I think it was before Pink got popular. I know it's Ewan McGregor. It's her. Is Jude Law maybe is in it too?
Here, I'm going to check right now. It got a 7.6 rating.
Well, that's good.
So
It's Baz Luhrmann, and it's very, very colorful, and it's
Nicole Kidman.
like I said, it's a musical. It's really cool. It's kind of a really cool movie, and that's why I bought it because I knew I was going to want to see it again in my lifetime.
Nicole Kidman, Ewan McGregor, John Leguizamo, Jim Broadbent. That's pretty much it for Kylie Minogue.
Neat.
So yeah, I got a 7.4. So
And you haven't seen it. Do you own-
7.6.
do
I'm
you
not a
own it?
musical person.
No, I was going to say because I can dig it out somewhere.
No, I wouldn't watch it. All right, well,
I thought it was interesting. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I thought it was an interesting visual movie. I liked some of what they did is they took some songs. I think they used David Bowie, one of the songs.
what's the
I
song
really
with all
liked
the
it.
girls singing? Lady Marmalade, is that?
Maybe it is. Yeah.
I think Christina Aguilera sang it. This is another one of yours. Oh boy, this is a good one.
Yeah.
I'm glad you picked that.
Oh, good.
I have
I'm glad we
not-
have time to
God,
talk about.
I have
that.
not seen this movie in a long time. Apocalypse Now.
Do you own it?
Yes.
Oh, all right.
I remember my senior year of high school, me and my best friend drove down with his father and two of his friends to North Carolina, and we were listening to Dennis Leary on the way back, and he was talking about Dennis Hopper in Apocalypse Now. And so the night I got back, I had my brother bring me to 2020 so I could get Apocalypse Now, and I watched it that night. Wow. That's a good movie. And you know what? You think Marlon Brando when you think Apocalypse Now, but it's definitely Martin Sheen's movie.
Right.
You know, I mean, Marlon Brando's barely in it.
Well, here's an interesting fact about that, right? I was reading about it. It's one of the reasons I wanted to talk about it because I went back and I read a little bit about it. Coppola hired another lead actor in the Martin Sheen role
Really?
and fired him after 2 weeks.
Who?
Harvey Keitel. Harvey Keitel had it. And I forget exactly what it was, but Coppola wasn't getting the sense out of him. You know, he wasn't getting what he wanted out of Harvey Keitel, and he canned him after 2 weeks.
That's not an easy role to play, especially the opening scene where is he drunk or is he on? I don't even remember, but he
Yeah, I
gets.
didn't think he's drunk yet, but I haven't seen it in a long
I
time.
haven't either, but he gets cut up and. But I mean,
There were a lot of other actors too. When I was reading about there were people that turned those roles down for that movie simply because they were going to be out of the country for 14 weeks. I'm trying to get some of the names. Clint Eastwood
he was offered Martin Sheen's role.
or Robert Duvall's, one or the other. I can't remember which one it was. And he didn't want to be out of the country for that long. Oh, there was somebody else, some other big actor. Maybe it was Pacino. God, there's somebody else. I'm thinking who it is. They offered, when they talked about all the different roles that they offered people. Oh, somebody was going to be Kurtz. That's who it was. It was somebody who was trying to convince Clint Eastwood, and one of them was going to play Kurtz. Oh, now it's escaping me who it was. I was going to say like Nick Nolte.
Really? Because I thought Brando was pretty dead on.
Right.
Dennis Hopper was really good in it too.
Yeah, which was kind of a resurrection for Dennis Hopper because I think if we looked him up, I don't think he had done much. Well, I guess he did Easy Rider.
But other than that.
But I think he kind of like faded. I mean, because Dennis Hopper had been around for a long time. He was in Giant with James Dean.
Wow.
So he had been
Yeah,
around
so he'd
as
been
a young
around
actor.
for a while, yeah.
And I think then he started to work independently. He did that movie with Peter Fonda, Jack Nicholson. He had done Easy Rider,
Yeah.
which he directed, and he had directed a couple of movies. And maybe I'm wrong, but he kind of like disappeared out of the light. That was kind of like a big resurrection for him. And after that movie, Dennis Hopper started making movies again for a while.
You know what he's great in? Absolutely great in? Hoosiers.
Right.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, I did.
I love Hoosiers. You know, I let you borrow Miracle, and I don't know if you've watched it yet or not.
I almost watched it last night. It was
But-
on our
You should watch that and tell me which one you think is a better sports movie.
wow.
That's
Miracle or Hoosiers.
That's how good Miracle is.
Wow.
You know, I know we're talking about Apocalypse Now, but I'm gonna check and see what the 2 ratings are. But the other thing too is I don't know if you remember, like one of the opening scenes of this movie, you'll see a very, very, very young Harrison Ford.
Right.
And another actor who's in it, who I think is actually driving the boat, is Lawrence Fishburne.
Right. He's on the poster. He's one of the featured actors.
Oh, is he? I didn't realize that.
Frederick Forrest is in this movie. God, who else am I? I'm trying to think. Oh, I think Arlie Ermy is in it.
Is he?
Arlie Ermy has a small part as a helicopter pilot. Arlie
He's
Ermy,
great.
who we just lost recently. I didn't realize this. I was reading about Arlie Ermy. I thought that he got into the movies because he kind of came into people's knowledge in Full Metal Jacket. And I thought he was an advisor to somebody else who was cast as a drill instructor. And that the guy wasn't getting it. So Arlie Ermy was kind of instructing him. And then they took Arlie Ermy to do it. I mean, Arlie Ermy was just
Wasn't that
spot on.
Full Metal Jacket?
Full Metal Jacket, right.
Yeah.
And what I was reading is that Arlie Ermy actually was in the Marines, and he left to study acting. I had no idea the man actually studied acting. I thought they had just like grabbed him up
I did too.
to be a Marine, and they hadn't. He actually intentionally became an actor, and he was in Apocalypse Now in 1978. So he had already. Apocalypse Now was what not Apocalypse. What am I saying? Full Metal Jacket was somewhere like mid 80s.
87, 88 probably.
So Arlie Ermy had already been in the movies prior to that, which is kind of surprising because he just burst on as Gunnery Sergeant Hartman. He was the man.
So, Full Metal Jacket was 87. Miracle gets 7.5. Hoosiers get 7.6.
Oh, perfect.
And you know what? I think those are both low. I think they're both at least 8s.
Yeah, I agree with you. Hoosier was a great movie. Now, what did we say Apocalypse Now got?
8.5.
8.5. You know, I don't remember it being that well received when it came out. I thought it got a lot of critics were down on the movie because the story was Coppola went to the Philippines. He got way over budget on the whole thing, and he shot like several hours, and it was a mess. I had read the book that it was based on prior to it coming out. Like I think it kind of like resurrected. It was a small like little novella, Heart of Darkness
Yep.
by Joseph Conrad. And I went back and I read it in the whole hoopla of Heart of Darkness. I mean, not Heart of Darkness.
Apocalypse
Now kind of coming out.
Now, did you see it when it came out
I did. I saw it at the movie
in the
theater.
theaters?
And I was I was young, so I was like a teenager, I guess, and I was confused by it.
Oh, I could see that because I was a teenager when I saw it, and I was kind of confused.
And I don't know if I've ever sat down to watch that whole movie again. So I'm really like due to watch this whole movie again. And Roger Ebert, I don't know. I didn't see what he originally wrote about it, but I mean, I really was a big Roger Ebert fan. He went back and viewed it again and gave it 4 stars, considered it a masterpiece, and said it was one of the best films ever made, that's really some high praise.
Now, see, 8.5 is probably right around where I would rank it. However, like, I don't think it's better than Platoon.
You don't think it's better than Platoon?
I don't. Platoon's one of my favorite movies of all time. No, Apocalypse Now isn't. Like, Platoon's like top 10 of favorite movie of all time. I wonder what got a higher rating, Platoon or this. Or Saving Private Ryan's another one.
I bet Platoon's probably about the same.
I bet it is. Might
Like
even,
8.5.
yeah, should be.
A lot of great lines came out of it.
8.1.
8.1.
That surprises
So
me.
it's below.
That's low.
It's still 8.1 is a very high rating.
It is, but I mean, I don't know. I think. What do you like better?
Well, I've seen Platoon a couple times since. I really need to watch Apocalypse Now again.
Now, see, Saving Private Ryan gets 8.6. I think Platoon's better than Saving Private Ryan as well. But, I mean, I think because, I don't know, I mean, I guess Saving Private Ryan's more of like your girlfriend versus me, where she says she wants to see a positive message. Platoon does not have a positive message. It's all negative. You know, I mean, it's just people fighting amongst each other. And Charlie Sheen, even at the end of the movie, he's like, what is the line? He's like, you know, at the end, we weren't fighting our enemy, we were fighting each other. You know, and that's essentially what the movie is about. An inter squad battle between 2 sergeants.
And it's how he changed.
Yeah.
So he was actually at the very beginning of the movie, he was the innocent.
He was very innocent and just, you know, I'm here, I'm a rich kid, but I'm here to do my part. It shouldn't just be all black people. And, you know, he was not well received for that initially. But then, you know, everybody took him in, you know, but he played on both sides between Barnes and Elias. And yeah, by the end of the movie, he's not that innocent kid that showed up.
Right.
You know, he's very opposite that. But I don't know. I mean, I love the most famous line, obviously, in Apocalypse Now.
I love the smell
Smell
of napalm.
in the morning.
What are some of the others? There's more than that.
there are more, but that's the one everybody always goes to.
Charlie Don't Surf. That came from that movie, too.
Yeah. No, Robert Duvall's character's fun in that. You know, it's just... No, it's good that they have the light side because it is a very, very dark movie.
You know, it's controversial. Marlon Brando got paid $1 million for that.
Yeah, and he gave Coppola a hard time, not showing up when he was supposed to. I mean, look at that image. Doesn't that image just haunt you?
Oh, right.
I remember that clear as day, and I haven't seen the movie in like 20 years, but I remember that scene.
It's one I need to see again. And
Yeah.
it's one of the
I
reasons
haven't.
I wanted to bring it up is because I thought
I'll bring it in for you next week.
it really isn't it a funny thing that it's like I say, I don't remember it being that well received when it first came out because it was very anticipated, and it was. I'll bet if you look up how many minutes does it say it is?
2 hours, 27 minutes.
It was a long movie compared to the other films that were out there. So, and then it's as if it didn't live up to the hype originally when it came out. But in retrospect, people have watched it and it's gained this reputation, kind of like. What's the movie? Al Pacino.
Scarface?
Scarface. Scarface when it came out, I'm sure it made a lot of money, but it was kind of critically like, it's kind of a blown out piece of crap.
Now, see, I own Scarface and I
people
like
loved it.
Scarface, but I don't think it's as good as everybody says it is.
Yeah. I would watch Apocalypse Now before I would watch
I would
that
too.
one again.
And I definitely like Apocalypse Now more than I like Scarface. Let's see what Scarface got. Apocalypse Now got 8.5. See, Scarface gets 8.3. Wow, Scarface is 2 hours and 50 minutes.
Yeah, it was a long
I didn't
movie.
realize it was that long. It's
Yeah.
been a while since I've seen this too.
Yeah, Brian De Palma.
Yeah. But I mean, as far as like the anticipation you're talking about with Apocalypse Now, I mean, can you blame them? I mean, you got Brando and Coppola back together, then you add in
Right.
Duvall again, you know, and then you've got
Exactly.
Martin Sheen, Dennis Hopper, you know, I mean,
And Martin Sheen wasn't that big a star, and it really didn't propel him. He wasn't a big, huge star after that movie.
his most famous character is probably playing the president on The West Wing, you know, and he was excellent at it, you know, and he played Michael Douglas's chief of staff in The American President, which was also written and directed by the people who later brought in The West Wing.
And I kind of like Martin Sheen.
I He's a very good actor.
I was just kind of surprised. It was kind of a surprising choice. And like I say, they cast somebody else.
And got rid of him.
Yeah.
That's because Harvey Keitel was that was after Mean Streets.
Yeah. So he had already worked with Coppola before. Oh no,
that's Scorsese.
That was Martin Scorsese.
But I mean, that was probably his big. I mean, it obviously was De Niro's kind of, or was Mean Streets before or after Godfather Part 2?
I think it was before.
I think it was the year before.
Right. I think De Niro got that after Mean Streets. He got Godfather Part 2.
Because I think Godfather was 72, Mean Streets was 73, then Godfather Part 2 was 74.
I think he was up for for the first Godfather too, as was Martin Sheen. I think I remember Martin Sheen being up
As
for the part of Michael Corleone.
Really?
Right. Isn't it amazing? Like when you look back at some of these movies and you hear about, even like I think Casablanca, they thought that Ronald Reagan was going to play
Really?
the Humphrey Bogart character. Yeah, I know.
Wow.
And you think back and you're like, what? How could that possibly be?
All right, you want to do one more?
All right, who chose? Oh, you chose that one.
I chose.
You
Yep.
chose
So you
choose one.
So we've done one of mine, and how many of yours? 3 of yours?
Oh yeah, Nicole. Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So we only
2 actresses in a movie. We're due for a Joey here.
I know.
All my stuff's getting chosen. That's me again.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh, it's another movie.
Okay.
It's another movie that's like highly regarded. Oh,
Do we have enough time? We have 5 minutes left.
5 minutes?
Should we pick something else?
The Shining.
Okay. No, let's do The Shining.
The Shining.
Another-
Which is a movie that I've seen probably 3 times now in my life. And I always think I'm going to enjoy it more than I do. It's another Stanley Kubrick movie.
Yep.
Has a really creepy vibe to the whole thing. But
Very.
for some reason, something's missing for that. For me, in my opinion, something's missing from The Shining.
It's different. I mean, it's Kubrick. It screams Kubrick all the way. Got 8.4.
Yeah, people love it.
They do. And see, I'm inclined to agree with you. Whereas I own this movie and I like this movie, but it's another Scarface to me. It seems like people just want to like it, as opposed to because it's cool to say you
Right.
like The Shining, you know.
Like with a lot of these type of movies, of like haunting movies, things like that. To me, it's a lot of like disconnected things. Like there's the twins. There's blood in the elevator. There's the naked lady in the shower.
What about the whole ballroom?
The bar
Where nobody's there, and then he goes in, and there's like a big party, and he's
Right.
drinking scotch, and he's talking to like the bartender or whatever. I mean, it's just room 227.
Now, what do you think about that? There's that whole controversy that goes along with it, that they think he was hiding some meaning. That potentially, this is some of the story. You've heard this, right? That supposedly Kubrick was asked to make a film of the moon landing, and they didn't actually land on the moon. And this was his way of saying that he made that film. The whole room 227, which the Earth is 227,000 miles from the moon. The kid is wearing an Apollo sweater in one scene. I'm trying to think what some of the other hints were that went along with that, the moon landing. I don't know. That's all I can remember.
I remember I checked out Room 227, the documentary.
Did you?
Yeah,
Did you watch it?
I did.
There was a line about American Indians. There was a theory about Nazis. Am I forgetting one? So there was Nazis, Native Americans, the moon landing. I bet there's another one in there too. There's another theory.
I kind of want to watch it again because it was very interesting.
The only reason I found that out, one of my friends showed me. He goes, "Look, there's a whole thing about the moon landing," and we didn't watch that movie, but there was an online film about 30 minutes that talked about the coincidences that led you to believe that Kubrick had filmed this moon landing, and it seemed really credible to me. And then I went back and I watched The Room 227, which it almost takes away from that theory because all these other people had other theories, like the Native American one. I think there were cans of tomato sauce lined up on a shelf in the kitchen with Native American in a headdress, and they said, "See, there's proof right there."
Yeah.
So just the fact that people could come up with all these wild theories is pretty interesting about the whole thing. Oh, and also The Shining. I don't know if you read Stephen King. Did you read the book The Shining?
No.
There's like a different ending to the whole thing.
Really?
And there's a whole like piece of this whole thing that where they changed the colors of the Volkswagen. There's a whole bunch of like little things that supposedly it made Stephen King mad that the script had changed, had veered from the book and things like that.
Oh, I can see that. I mean, it's his, but he sold the rights.
Mm-hmm.
So once he sold the rights, it's not. They can do whatever they want. So I mean, but again, yeah, like 8.4. If you're giving this an 8.4 and giving Platoon an 8.1, I disagree.
It's an iconic Jack Nicholson role.
Absolutely.
And we love Jack Nicholson, so but
How many?
Shelley Duvall. I mean, I don't know. To me, it's like.
She's weird.
Yeah, it got into like a scream fest where you almost get kind of annoyed with Shelley Duvall after a while. It's like, stop the screaming already.
Yeah, it was really annoying.
So I don't know. That was a movie that I bring up as a film because, like you said, it's built up this whole legend around the whole thing.
And don't get me wrong, I like it, but I don't like it as much as other people like it. Just like Scarface. Like I remember they used to do MTV used to do cribs where they'd go to celebrities' houses, and I swear, like every celebrity had a Tony Montana poster in their house, and it's like, why? I don't know. I just feel like, I feel like it is just overblown. Like everybody just because it's so violent, and the scene where he's got the mound of cocaine on the desk, and I don't know. I'm gonna write that down and bring that in for you, just because.
Scarface.
Yep. If you don't want to watch it, you don't have to. I'm gonna bring it in anyway.
Well, think about it. If you watch Apocalypse Now, I'd like to see that again.
Yeah, I already wrote that down to bring in.
Because now I want to see if I'd be as impressed with it as
if it holds the
nowadays. More impressed than I was like when I was younger.
I don't know. I'd like to see it again too. Now that I think about it, because 2.5 hours is a long time for a movie. Yeah, and the other thing too is I don't consider The Shining really a horror movie. I consider it more of a drama. Don't you? I mean, it's like.
I guess I don't know. It's Kubrick, It's got that Kubrick feel to it, which is kind of cool. I mean, he has his own kind of
style.
Yeah, which is really interesting. Makes it really interesting to watch. But if you gave me the choice, I'd rather see Kubrick movies that I haven't seen before. Like, there's one he did with Ryan O'Neal, Barry Lyndon. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see what other Kubrick movies look like. I could watch Eyes Wide Shut again, see if I like that as much as I.
I'm gonna try to watch that movie, but I don't know. It sounds rough.
All right. Well, I guess we're gonna have to. How many do we have in it? We have 3 left.
Yeah. So we'll add some more next week.
Yeah, I wrote down some names this week. And we pulled these movies too that I really wanted to talk about.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we get some of mine next week. All right. Well, this was an episode of Best Pictures. I'm one of your hosts, Joey Powers.
I'm Don Treadler.
See you at the movies.